Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't end. It just keeps going on and on and on. And the only person that can make it stop is the person that is making it continue. The Shirilla family. Holy shit. Listen, bro. The Shirilla family, they're doing some unusual activity at this point, in my humblest opinion. I really feel like they have a humiliation kink. They probably get off to the negative comments. They're probably watching the negative comments just bro, the Shirilla family. They did it once, they did it twice, and guess what? God damn it, they'll do it thrice. Steve Shirilla went on yet another interview, and he didn't double down. He tripled down on the stuff that he was saying. He talks about the comments made about him in his documentary. He talks about comments made on social media, and he sprinkles a little extra sauce on it this time. He sprinkles a little extra sauce, and I'm going to tell you how. We're going to show you little clips of this interview, but I want to show you the sauce that he sprinkles on. He tells us, the world, the humble listeners in this world, that Dominic Russo was a drug dealer, and the only reason that they took that road often in the first place was because of Dom and his drug dealing ways. What a filthy, horrible human being, huh? Mind you, the kid was selling little fucking dime bags of weed around the town from what I could hear. He wasn't a drug dealer. But anyways, Dom was a drug dealer. And the only reason they crashed, the only reason they're even going in that direction as a habit was because poor Mackenzie was Dominic Russo's mule. Wow, I really see this case differently now. I actually want to cry. Ain't that some shit? You know? And then he veers off into conspiracy land about the judge being in on it a little bit, doing illegal, nefarious actions behind the scenes because she's also a Russo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and listen to this interview. It's going to blow you away. He did it once, he did it twice, and God damn it, he'll do it thrice. Let's do it. So it seems like Steven, my boy Steve, man, fuck yeah, gang. Seems like my boy Steve did this interview in his backyard in his humble home in Strongsville, right? So shout out, Steven. Appreciate you, dog. They always say a third time's a charm. I'm pretty sure the masses will agree with you this time. Let's check this out. Let's run the little intro real fast.
Steve, my first question is, what is it like to be a part of the biggest documentary on Netflix currently?
Wow, it's mixed. I was hoping during this process we would get Mackenzie's story out, or what happened to Mackenzie, and not necessarily what everybody's heard or what everybody keeps gleaming off of misinformation.
Gang, what other info? You wanted to get Mackenzie's story out and you didn't want us to gleam over information that was just regurgitated? Gang, everything about Mackenzie is negative. And listen, we're going to get into some of the negative videos that relate to Dominic Russo also. We're going to get there. There are those videos that exist as well, but let's just keep it real. Mackenzie's the murderer in this situation, point blank period. But let's keep going. He wanted to get her story out. It costed him his job.
And I want to say I was promised that it would be fair, but that's what my illusion to what was going on. That I thought they came to us thinking that my daughter is a monster and that she did this and she's hell on wheels and she picked that road and blah blah blah. You know what the judge said. But I think after they started talking to us, I think we opened their eyes to, well, them. Maybe there's something funny going on here.
Just as gullible as shit, bro. You know those kids with the wide eyes and you could just lie to them in their face and they're just gullible as shit? Like, yeah, I'll buy you a dog next week. And they're just excited because that's a true story. That's probably my trauma coming out. Somebody told me that when I was a kid and I never got that dog. Anyway, I'm just saying. Steve Shirilla is just as gullible as fucking 10-year-old AG. which is a goddamn shame. What has he learned in his years of living and wisdom? Bro said he went to Netflix thinking that he was going to change their mind about the narrative. Oh, yeah, I was convincing them. You're just as fucking stupid as Natalie.
And that's where I thought it was. And then when it came out, a lot of the stuff we talked about just wasn't there. There wasn't a lot about the fact that there's no evidence of premeditation, prior calculation or intent. It's not there. And every troll online can tell me, oh yeah, she did it, all this, and she was speeding down that road and she didn't hit her brakes. Well, she didn't hit her brakes for 4.74 seconds of that ride. That's the only information they have. 4.
What's funny is we gotta get past this. It's crazy. He never brings up that part of the documentary where we see her on 4, 5, 6 separate different security cameras flying down that bitch the entire way. It's not like the car just hit the brake magically. You know who tried some shit like this? Daryl Brooks. He drove into a parade full of kids and women and men and just everybody and elders, killed a whole bunch of people, right? Same thing he said. Oh yeah, the Ford Explorer that he used had a faulty year. It always goes back to the car. Listen, cars don't just accelerate out of nowhere. It just doesn't happen that way.
That's when the black box turned on about 5 or 6 seconds before she crossed Alameda Road and before it went into the building. Something happened in that car that caused that black box to turn on, which was, I think the car, from our car expert that we talked to, said that the car thought it was flipping over. So the black box turned on and started recording the car information in a non-linear sort of way. And that's important, that non-linear sort of way. And it deployed both side airbags. And I'm sorry, side airbags don't just go pillow fight. It's not a soft.
All right, I'm gonna skip past that. And if you guys came out to the live stream, you will have seen the entire thing. If you haven't, become a member. Go check out my shit. But their whole theory here, and I'm gonna skip past this, is that something happened. The car thought that they were in a crash and the airbags went off. Then they crashed because of the airbags. He's going to trip over his words and stumble over them, but that's what he's trying to get at, right? But anyways, I want to move forward to the position that they were in the first place, because he said that normally Mackenzie wouldn't even be going down that road if she wasn't even dating Dom. So Dom's actually the one. Dom is actually the one who got them into this situation. At least that's what I'm understanding from Mr. Steve. Let's check this out.
I can't explain the speed, but that road is a cut through in Strongsville, and the police know it. Yeah. Everybody uses it. I've been down that road at a pretty good clip at times. Not saying it's right. I'm not saying, okay.
Look at bro admitting to a misdemeanor. He could be admitting to a felony. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it like felony speeding if you go over like 90 miles an hour? I think it's different depending on what state you're in. But just casually admitting to a felony here or there. I go down there at a pretty good clip, every once in a while. Fucking nerd.
Not at all.
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut for where she goes. And plus, Dom did not like going down Pearl Road. He liked the.
Why didn't he like going down Pearl Road?
He sold drugs, or at least my understanding is he sold marijuana at this time. And if he got pulled over and he had marijuana on him, he would go to jail.
There's lots of police.
And there's a lot of police, and they sit in the shops all the way up Pearl, and they don't really sit back in that Industrial Parkway. Like I said, it's a cut through. It's a quick cut through, and he always made her go down through that way. Even on her prom, her mom, Christine Russo and Dom made her go down that road. She's even, and I wish.
I love it, man. You know that GIF on Instagram where it's like Jack Nichols and he's like, "Keep it coming." Yeah. So now Dominic Russo's mom is even over here trying to keep her baby safe and putting your poor mule of a daughter in danger's way because they have to go the wrong way because he's a drug dealer. Meanwhile, Mackenzie's the biggest drug fiend on the planet. She's probably selling the shit. I'm not saying she did. I was being sarcastic, right? But it's wild. Let's keep going.
My cousin passed away a couple months ago, and he could have attested because he was in the car with us. But but my understanding is we go down that road all the time, and even in the bindover or not the bindover discovery, there's a note in it that says we know it's a known cut through. So the police know it, and they even state it's a known cut through. So for the judge to go, you chose that road and blah blah blah, it doesn't make any sense because the police. The detective,
Bro, it makes all the fucking sense in the world. It's a known cut through. It's straight. You can go really fast down there to save time. You can go around a whole bunch of extra shit. Maybe tourists don't know, but the locals know about it. So she specifically chose that road because she knew about it. And she knew it would be a perfect place to probably threaten Dom. That's what I think it was. It would be the perfect place to threaten Dom that she's going to crash this car if we break up or we're going to something. It makes perfect sense. Low test Steve. Somebody get this guy some tests. Who's got a syringe, man? Low test Steve is over here tweaking out.
Because he said it, knows it's a cut through. I mean, it's crazy. And they knew, and the drugs, and so Dom would have Mackenzie hold the drugs.
How do you know that? How do you know Dom was into that?
Because my daughter told me. Yeah. He told me that he sells marijuana and friends buy it from him, and I know a lot of. Yeah. I know. It's just something that I know.
There's a
after
lot
4
about
years.
his background that didn't come out in that.
Man, that's the fucking high school guy. You know what that is? Oh my god, he's a drug dealer. Let me move this thing real quick. I have a short in my fucking cable. I need to fix that. Anyway, Dom was the stoner who always had weed. What do stoners who always have weed end up doing all the time? They sell it to their friends. He said it himself. A stoner always has, well, a true stoner like myself, right? A stoner always has an extra $20. You know why? Because I just sold a little something to my homie real quick. That doesn't mean he was a drug dealer, gang. He had a lot of weed on his person. Because I think he was 20 or I'm not sure how old he was at the time. He had a lot of weed on his person because he was making money. Unlike Mackenzie, all she did was make bullshit on TikTok and beg him for stuff. But no, Dom's the drug dealer. Dom had extra weed because he made money.
Either I know,
and I don't think it was all from selling weed. He had a whole clothing brand, all types of shit.
Well, I think they're.
He's been in trouble with the law before.
Yes,
right?
and that's the reason why he would have Mercury mule for him, carry his drugs. Yeah. So if they got pulled over, she got in trouble for him, but it would be just a slap on the wrist, basically.
He had
wait, let me back this up. So he's saying this as fact to us right now.
Either I know he has.
Well, I think they're.
He's been in trouble with the law before.
Yes,
right?
and that's the reason why he would have Mercury mule for him, carry his drugs. Yeah. So if they got pulled over. She got in trouble for him, but it would be just a slap on the wrist, basically.
He had a prior charge.
So he's saying that, right? And then they go into prior charge. I don't know who this interviewer guy is. Listen, I ain't gonna say nothing about him, but we gotta stop with these softball interviews. Yo, Kenzie's dad, why don't you come on my shit real quick? I know you see my videos. Why don't you come on my shit real fast? I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. I'm just gonna ask you the questions everybody wants to know the answers to. Instead of these little pussy-ass questions that you're getting. Bro, they're going to bring up that Dom had like a prior criminal history, some type of domestic situation. So we're going to skip past that. Again, if you guys are in the live stream, we're doing the whole video. But I want to move forward real fast, right? He brings up that one situation that took place in the Netflix documentary. Everybody was talking about his graphic tee. And how he was so insensitive. It said boom across it or some bullshit, right? Everybody was like, he's so tone deaf. Well, it turns out he got it from his best friend, Drip Drop. Do you know who Drip Drop is? It's probably the most goofy motherfucker I've seen on YouTube. Go look up drip drop for a good chuckle. Anyways, I'll just let him explain to you.
Can you tell us a little? I mean, it's such a stupid little thing. Your shirt. Can you tell?
Well, let me ask again. Is this okay? I don't want to trigger anybody in this world that I'm wearing an orange polo. I hope it's not colorblind enough for anybody. The shirt I was wearing is from Drip Drop, which is Crime Circus on YouTube.
A grown man just said drip drop. I guess I'm a grown man over here saying drip drop too, so I guess we're all fucked up over here. Grown man saying, you know, a YouTube channel, a guy named Drip Drop gave... Fuck my life, bro. This is crazy. This is what I do, folks. I look at idiots for a living. Well, hold on. Let me back this up.
Wearing polo. Is this okay? I don't want to trigger anybody in this world that I'm wearing an orange polo. I hope it's not colorblind enough for anybody. The shirt I was wearing is from Drip Drop, which is Crime Circus on YouTube. Crime Circus has been a defender for my daughter. He's made many posts saying she's innocent, and he shows the evidence, and he contradicts people who say, no, she's guilty, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, you have to look at this and this, you know. He was about a month after her trial. One of his posts showed up with us. Someone sent it to us, and he had found 5 or 6 videos.
Man, Drip Drop wants to fuck. Allegedly. He's a weirdo. I don't really do the other. You know, I'm gonna leave that shit alone. That's my last comments. Just keep going.
Interviews from the Strongsville Police Department that were not in the discovery, or were not in the discovery that we could find, and we went over everything, and we had access to everything during the bind over in the trial.
So boom, 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 boom. He likes to veer off a lot. That's why we're doing this in video format. Because if I was to watch this whole thing, we'd be here all fucking day. But anyways, he talks about Drip Drop, kind of loses track, talking about the extra videos that he posted on his channel, which he actually did. Now, we move on, and then he explains deeper about the shirt finally after he shuts the fuck up about all of that. Let's check this out.
The shirt.
Yeah.
The shirt is Crime Circus's logo, or one of his swag that he sells. The boom is one of his things. So I wore the shirt to say thank you.
Nice.
For what he was doing for my daughter, and he's done a lot. And if I see him, I'm going to hug him. You know, that's the first thing I'm going to do. He's been a very good champion for what I feel is misjustice against my daughter, and the lack of evidence to support the charges. You know, so that's what that shirt was about. Not me being colorblind to 2 boys dying, because it's horrible. It was horrible. I don't. A day doesn't go by that I don't think about it, and that was one of the toughest things for me to do with this whole thing at the beginning. Was, how can I be happy that my daughter's alive and breathing? I mean,
okay, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about your existential crisis that you're facing. That's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? That's none of my business. I don't give a fuck. Long story short, right? I just wanted to show you how he really started dancing for your boy Crime Circus. He started dancing for him. And I just feel like he's so misguided. That's such an idiot thing to do. Of all things, you put Crime Circus in your lips. That's why they tore you to shreds. Then you wore his shirt on a Netflix documentary. There's nothing else to say to that. Let's move on. So he goes back around to the reason he got fired. So I want to touch on that. He explains the reason as to why he feels he's not fired yet. Him being put on leave is unjust. And I gotta tell you, brother, this is interview number 3. If you thought you were fucked, you're really fucked now, bro. You keep on going. You think that school is gonna have you back? You're viral. Shit, they fire people for going viral for regular things. You are fucked, bro. Anyways, yeah, let's do a couple of seconds of him bitching about his school.
Since the documentary came out.
Well, apparently the diocese had a problem with something I said in there, along with.
Did people contact the
Yes, that's my understanding. There was a website out of Parma, Parma something, and I guess they just called in and made all kind of stupid, baseless accusations, and then the diocese has an obligation to protect the kids, which I understand. But the problem I have with the diocese doing how they did it is they didn't talk to me. They just acted.
that's kind of just more rehashing of the same. He said the same thing on TMZ. Also, there's another individual that went on TMZ that we're gonna have to talk about tomorrow. If you know, go check it out. But we gotta move forward, right? He addresses the whole idea about Mackenzie Shirilla and Dom being in like this toxic relationship. But I found it funny because he compares Dom and Mackenzie like him and Natalie. Sir, that is a horrible comparison. But I'm gonna let him talk to you about it. But I think he didn't see that Mackenzie was in a toxic relationship because he's currently in one. So, you know, it's like when there's shit in the house and you've been smelling it all day. You're going to stop smelling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's living that toxic life, so he doesn't think that shit's toxic. Let me show you.
You know, she has to learn for herself and make her own choices, and that's what I was doing. And she was getting older, and her and Dom were making a life together. Now, was I greatly happy with the relationship? No. This toxic has been thrown around a lot. I didn't see the toxic relationship that everybody's saying, oh, it's toxic. This is a toxic relationship. And they argued. I argue with my wife. Everybody argues, okay? From what I knew, it wasn't toxic. They argued. They broke up. He's over the next day with flowers and candy and a stuffed animal. I mean, it was like a...
That is the definition. I'm assuming he's rage baiting me at this point. That is the definition of toxic. She'll break up with him that night, and he'll show up the next day with flowers. He didn't do nothing, by the way. She just broke up with him because they had a little argument about some That's the definition of toxic. Bro, it's like, no, it wasn't toxic. It was beautiful. He was over there with flowers. You know. That's going to piss me off. Let's move forward, right? So they start to break down this Shirilla language because a lot of people are starting to ask questions. And I think it's starting to become a thing to where they can't hide it any longer. It's just so loud. So, you know, he gets asked the same question as Natalie. And I'll just let you, I'll just show you what, you know, what he had to say about it.
Came out I've been trying to catch up on social media about what people are saying about this. There's one other weird thing that came up that I was hoping that you could explain a little bit. I guess at one point, Kenzie and her mother...
Look at Low Test Steve over there, just crisscrossed applesauce. Man, I love me some Low Test Steve, bro. It's my favorite evening pastime. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Just hanging out with you guys, watching Low Test Steve. You know, there's a thing called a lolcow. I think he's approaching that status.
About this. There's one other weird thing that came up that I was hoping that you could explain a little bit. I guess at one point, Kenzie and her mother are caught on tape talking in like what people are calling a different language, or like Carney speak.
It's Carney. It's Gypsy speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that something they would do?
It's a family thing. It's a family thing that my wife grew up with.
Can you speak it?
No,
Okay.
it's because they do it so fast. It's
I know how.
What I tell you? Ding, 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 ding. Go back to my videos 8 months ago. I told you Mackenzie and her mom used that language specifically for him. And I know he feels like a little outcast, little bitch on the side while they're saying their skibbity boobities, jibbity jabbities. He's just over there like, oh, well, I guess it's mommy and daughter time. I guess I'm just excluded now. Man, it hurts my soul as a man, you know? But then I remember it's Low Test Steve, so it doesn't really matter.
Works now.
to say
You add an extra syllable in with
the is the.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say that right. It's like a pig Latin. You're adding vowels, or you're splitting the word with, and it's something that families, my wife's family has done for years. It's nothing. It's like when the gypsies and the carnivals would come around, and they didn't want the locals to hear what they were saying. That's what they would speak.
Yeah.
So my daughter and wife talk that way, and when they don't want to have someone hear what they're talking about, that's what they talk about.
When they don't want you, you caught them right. When they don't want me, when they don't want someone to hear, man, they use this language around him probably 10% of the day that they're around him. Talking all types of bullshit around dumb shit Steve. And I'm saying they're calling him dumb shit Steve. I'm not calling him that. I think he's a genius for coming on this interview. I think he's very smart for doing this. Very good idea.
my wife's family has done for years. It's nothing. It's like when the gypsies and the carnivals would come around, and they didn't want the locals to hear what they were saying. That's what they would speak.
Yeah.
So my daughter and wife talk that way. And when they don't want to have someone hear what they're talking about, that's what they talk about. It's like having a German person or Japanese out here in America start talking Japanese because they don't. It's a private thing. Mm-hmm. So. That's what the speech. It's called Carney.
How old was Kenzie when she learned how to do that?
She was pretty young. I've never heard anyone say it. I'm sorry. I'm smiling. I'm smiling because it's a good memory for me.
Sure.
My wife and my daughters. It's like it's like bees. It's like bees. And during this process, we knew when my daughter was in the juvenile center or over in county. She didn't want people.
Don't male bees die after they mate? Let's do male bees die after mating. Let's find out. Yes, male honeybees, drones die almost immediately after mating with a queen. This fatal outcome occurs because the mating process physically destroys their bodies. Oh yeah, it's like their whole stinger gets ripped out of their fucking cock section. However, this extreme reproductive behavior is only true for honeybees. Man, listen, I got bad news for you, Mr. Shirilla. Check this out. Check this out, bro. Check this out. You're overstay you're overstay on this earth because you got a bunch of bees over there. Oh my God. It would make sense that he would self-destruct after having Mackenzie because that's kind of what's happening. It was just slower and more painful. It took about 17 to 18 years, but he's dying a painful death. Anyways, let's keep going.
Around hearing what we were talking about because there's big ears everywhere, and then someone's going to say something, and we didn't want to give away what we were possibly doing in court or how we were going to try to defend her. So we were trying to be careful what anybody else overheard or who was overhearing her, or I say we, but they were.
Anyways, shut that shit up. Shut that shit all the way the fuck up, right? Shut that shit all the way down. I want to move forward because now they're talking about, we've had our fill about Dom. We've had our fill, about all these people. Let's talk about the judge, right? Let's talk about the judge and Davion, who some podcasters call Damien, right? Let's move forward and see what he had to say about the judge because he's making some really inflammable claims, in my opinion. Right before he says it, he's going to be like, ooh, I could get in trouble for this. So why the fuck would you say it?
Why do you think they went so hard against her?
Man, well, there's the part where maybe I'll get myself in trouble. I think there's some collusion going on. I think it's a fix. I think it's a favor. That last name, Russo, in this town.
I was trying to explain that to somebody. Having the last name Russo in Cuyahoga County is like having the last name Kennedy in Boston.
Mm-hmm. There might be some truth to that. Like I said, this is a political family, and
listen, he's teetering on some bullshit, man. He's over here making crazy claims. Let's continue.
I apologize to the Flanagan family right now. If it was just Davion in the car, she wouldn't be in jail. She would have.
And he whispered that shit as if thousands of people weren't gonna hear that. Between me and you, if it wasn't Dom in that, she wouldn't be in jail. If it was only the black kid, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he was saying that. But if it was only that little random piece of shit Davion, oh yeah, his life is meaningless. So I hope Davion's family heard this interview. I hope his adopted dad heard this shit. I hope his sister heard this shit. I hope they heard it. She wouldn't even be in jail. Oh, that's how you feel, huh?
I apologize to the Flanagan family right now. If it was just Davion in the car, she wouldn't be in jail. She would have. It would have never left the juvenile court. This has to do with the boy's last name, and the judge saying, "Well, I don't have a blood relationship." look, I'm not saying she has got a blood relationship. I'm saying she has relationships with the Russo family, and her even saying that in court, just if you're going to believe doesn't have a relationship, you're fooling yourself. I'm not saying it's directly with Christine Russo down the road here, but it's with somebody, you know. And
there are many Russos
yes.
in judicial
positions.
You see how he sassily said that? I'm not saying about this Christine Russo, who lives down here. Like she's the enemy. Oh, they're the enemy, folks. It's not like she's the enemy. She is the enemy. She is 100% the enemy. They don't fuck with her. Man, listen, they probably talk crazy inside that household. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyways, to close things off, I just want to show you one more thing. Like, he always talks about coming down that road at a good clip. And going through this entire interview painstakingly, he does bring up a little portion where he starts talking about how he's driven over 100 miles before, and, you know, nothing of the sort has happened before, so it couldn't have been. He kind of casually admits to a felony, right? Let's check this out.
And look, okay, you got some black box information. The car was going fast. You can't explain the car. You can't explain the speed. The video clearly shows the brakes going on, no matter what the expert says. It's funny that it broke there and it didn't break there, or there. So if that's a safety feature for a car, I've been 100 in a car. I don't remember my car braking for me when I was going over 100. You know, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is.
I like how he called himself. Again, I'm not saying. He wanted to say, I'm not saying I go down that road 100 all the time, but man, casually admitting to felonies out here. I love it. If you guys know that Jack Nichols meme, that's how I be feeling when he talks.
You know, so I don't get it. And she didn't drive directly into that building. She drove mind you, it's apples to oranges here. You know, she hit that sign first, and that sign veered her into that building. You know, what would happen if she kept going straight? You know, I don't know. All
right. Anyways, all right. I just wanted to say I just want to show you guys that one little portion, and one more thing. I know it's a long video, folks, but one more thing, right? He points out that, you know, attacking the Russos again. He points out that the Russo family probably changed the Netflix documentary around, and that's why they have a bad rep on the streets now. I just wanted to show you that because it's always deflection. It's always someone else is the problem, and it's really this entire family's second nature. Check this out. There's actually so much bullshit that I'm digging through, folks. I couldn't even find the clip where he's talking shit about the Russos, but best believe it's in there. Okay, go check out the live stream if you guys want to see the full interview. But, I mean, it's a dumpster fire full of dog shit. I'll tell you that much. You know, you got the cliff notes here. You got the 40-minute, 35-minute, whatever the long this video is. You got the cliff notes. And, yeah. What do you think in the comments? I am very curious. Let her rip. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. Stay tuned. We're coming back with a lot more, man. Peace.